This is not financial advice, not legal advice, for entertainment, educational purposes only, and anything I say is my opinion. Please don't make any financial decision based on anything I say in these videos. Listen, double check you're still subscribed to the channel, double check your notifications are on, and if you hit that like button, double check it's working properly, because the bad actors are working overtime, suppressing the channel, suppressing the videos, because they're terrified of more people becoming aware of all the fraud and corruption in the United States stock market. Guys, listen. The White House is thinking about putting Paul Atkins in charge of the CFTC also. Okay? So he's in charge of the SEC. And now they want to put him in charge of the CFTC. I think that is terrible news for retail investors. Okay? Terrible news for retail investors. We see what Paul Atkins thinks about the fraud and corruption in the United States of America. Okay? He talks about they're going to go after the people who rob and steal. If you do this, if you do that, there will be consequences. Yet, every single day, there is overwhelming fraud in the United States stock market, especially in the AMC play, the GME play, the BINI play, the NWBO play, the GNS play. And we all know what went down with MMTLP, but I think we're going to see some movement on that very soon. Okay, but that's for another video. That's for another video. But the point I'm trying to make is, if Paul Atkins is practicing willful blindness to all the fraud and corruption that goes on in the stock market every single day, what do you think he's going to do as head of the CFTC when these criminals start creating counterfeit XRP to put into their ETFs, or counterfeit tokens to do other shenanigans with? Is he going to enforce the rules of the market? He will not. He will continue with the same modus operandi, practicing willful blindness to overwhelming evidence of fraud and corruption. Not saying that if they put somebody else in place, they might not do anything either, but at least give us somebody else, give us an option, so we can imagine or hope that they put somebody in place who's gonna follow the rules and regulations. We already know that Paul Atkins does not care about naked shorting. He does not care about spoofing. He does not care about the fraud in the United States stock market. So if he's in charge of the CFTC, do you think he's going to be any different when it comes to crypto? No, he's going to be exactly the same way he is in the SEC. He will ignore the fraud. He will ignore the corruption. He will sit on the sidelines and practice willful blindness while fraud and corruption is allowed to go on in the crypto market. I mean, that's really the bottom line. That's really the bottom line. He came in touting all this positive words and news that he was going to make the SEC, make the stock market go after the bad actors. Well, he's been appointed long enough, and he has done absolutely nothing about the bad actors. They don't even mention naked shorting. Okay? Everyone knows that naked shorting is the biggest financial crime in the history of the stock market. Yet the SEC says nothing about it. The White House says nothing about it. When Trump was running, they were screaming about the naked shorting. They were sending letters to the SEC. They were demanding that something be done about the naked shorting. Now that they are in power, they are silent on the naked shorting. If we don't keep the naked shorting in the news, nobody talks about it. Nobody talks about it. Every single day, these guys create billions of counterfeit shares, and they push them into the market to manipulate the price of good and great companies. And our regulatory agencies knows, our law enforcement agency knows, the White House knows, And DTCC and FINRA, they conspire with those criminals. They conspire with those criminals because they see what's going on and they don't do anything about it. The bottom line is this. Paul Atkins does not police the SEC. If he's in charge of the CFTC, he won't police the CFTC either. The bad actors will be able to do whatever they want with no real consequences. Anyway, please leave some comments. Tell me what you think. Do you think that Paul Atkins is going to go after bad actors as head of the CFTC? Anyway, have a great day. God bless, and I appreciate y'all on this journey with me.